The slap was so loud it echoed through the entire mansion. "Are you stupid, Adaora? Must you always be in my way?" Chiamaka's voice sliced the air like a sharp knife as she pushed her maid backward. A glass cup dropped from Adaora's hand, shattering into tiny pieces across the expensive marble floor. Adaora froze. I didn't mean to," she stammered. "Shut up," Chiamaka hissed, stepping forward with her chin raised high. "I didn't ask for excuses." Every worker nearby paused what they were doing. No one breathed too loudly. No one moved too fast. Everyone knew the rule. When Chiamaka was angry, the mansion belonged to her rage. And today, that rage was hungry. Adaora bent down to pick the broken glass with shaking hands. Her heart was beating too fast, and her eyes burned with hot tears she couldn't let fall. She was just 18, small and gentle, with a soft voice that never rose above a whisper. Working in the billionaire's mansion was supposed to help her mother, but instead, it had become a place where she tasted humiliation every day. Chiamaka, only 1 year older than her, treated her like dirt. Not just her, she treated every worker like they were invisible. "Move out of my way," Chiamaka snapped at one of the security guards as she walked past him. The guard quickly stepped aside. She turned again to Adaora, her lips curled in disgust. "Clean it up properly. And when you're done, come upstairs and arrange my laundry. I want everything ironed within 30 minutes. Adaora bowed her head. "Yes, Ma." "Yes, Ma," Chiamaka mocked, rolling her eyes. "You talk like a broken radio. No wonder your life is slow." Her phone suddenly buzzed. When she saw the caller's name, her face brightened instantly. Prince. Her boyfriend. Or rather, the boy she wished was really hers. He was handsome, street smart, and dangerously confident. A boy who never worked a single day, but always demanded money, attention, and praise. A boy who saw Chiamaka not as a girlfriend, but as an ATM. She stepped aside and answered the call. "Baby, I've missed you," she said with her voice softening, something that only happened when she spoke to him. Prince didn't waste any time. "Where's the money I asked for?" he asked sharply. Chiamaka blinked. "Money? But I sent you." "I didn't ask about last week," he cut in. "I said I need new money today." Her smile faded. "But Daddy has not credited my account yet. You know he traveled. I don't have cash right now." Prince's voice grew colder. "So you're telling me you can't help me? You want me to look stupid in front of my guys?" "No, no, baby, it's not like that." Chiamaka panicked. "I can get it. I need some time." Prince sighed loudly. Her heart squeezed. "You have 1 hour. Don't embarrass me." The call ended. Chiamaka stood still for a moment, her chest rising and falling quickly. Fear mixed with pride inside her. She hated the way Prince spoke to her, but she also hated the idea of losing him. He was the only person she thought made her feel important. She swallowed hard and turned around sharply. Adaora was still kneeling on the floor, carefully picking the broken pieces. "Are you still there?" Chiamaka snapped. Adaora nodded quickly. "I'm almost done, Ma." "You're so slow. Every day. Slow, slow, slow. Did your mother breastfeed you with snail milk?" Several workers flinched. Adaora lowered her head further, her cheeks burning with shame. "Get up," Chiamaka ordered. Adaora stood. She turned to her. "You," she said. "Come." Adaora walked closer, confused and nervous. Chiamaka stared at her, a strange look in her eyes, deep frustration, hidden fear. Then she asked the question Adaora dreaded. "Do you have money?" Adaora froze. Money?" "Yes, money. Do you have any?" "I don't, Ma." Chiamaka scoffed, annoyed. Useless girl. You don't even have ordinary 1,000. Aurora pressed her lips together. She wished she could disappear. She wished she could stand straight without feeling so small. But Chiamaka wasn't done. Fine, she said. Go and bring my handbag from the closet. Aurora nodded and walked into the huge walk-in closet. As she stepped inside, her breath caught. The room was filled with designer bags, shoes, perfumes, items worth more than her entire life savings. She picked the handbag and turned back, only to freeze, because standing right in front of the closet door was Chief Dickey, the billionaire himself. She gasped softly and stepped back in fear.
"Good afternoon, sir," she whispered. Chief Dyke's eyes were tired, sad, almost searching. "Are you all right, my dear?" he asked softly. Adaora blinked. No one ever asked her that, especially not him. "Yes, sir, I'm fine." But a voice shook. He sighed and nodded slowly. He didn't push further. "Please tell Chiamaka to come downstairs when she's done," he said gently. "Yes, sir." He left. Adaora stood still, clutching the handbag to her chest, feeling confused. Why did he look at her like that? Like he had seen her somewhere before. Like she meant something. She stepped out of the closet. "Bring it," Chiamaka snapped. Adaora handed the handbag gently to her. Chiamaka shouted at her to leave her side. Adaora hurriedly left. Chiamaka believed she was born to be worshipped. Every morning she walked through her father's mansion as if she owned not just the house, but the breath and every person working inside it. The maids bowed, the cooks greeted, the security men opened doors before she even reached them. And she loved it. She fed on it. It made her feel taller than her small frame, richer than her father's wealth, and more powerful than the truth she didn't know. To everyone in the house, she was a storm and expensive clothes. "Move out of my way." She snapped at a cleaner one morning when the poor woman mistakenly bumped the broom against her slippers. "I'm sorry, Ma." "Do I look like your mate?" Chiamaka barked. Her eyes sharp and proud. "Next time you try this nonsense, you will sleep in the street." The cleaner bowed her head, holding back tears. And just like that, Chiamaka brushed past, her shoulders lifted high, her heart full of pride she didn't earn. Adaora was gentle, humble, and always quiet. She worked like someone running from her own shadow, fast, careful, fearful. Her eyes always held the type of sadness that comes from a deep place, a place only life's heavy secrets can build. "Are you deaf?" Chiamaka shouted one afternoon. "I said warm the bath, or do you want me to pour the water on your head?" Adaora quickly carried the bucket, her hands shaking slightly. "Sorry, Ma. I will do it now." "Sorry for your mother," Chiamaka murmured with a wicked smile. Those words always pierced Adaora's heart. She didn't know why, but any insult related to her mother always felt heavier than others. She would swallow her pain and continue working, silently praying the day would end peacefully. But in that mansion, peace was a rare visitor. The workers in the house hated how Chiamaka treated them, but none of them could complain. Her father, Chief Decay, was a good man, but he was blind when it came to his daughter. He gave her everything she wanted, and in return, she gave him the illusion of being the perfect child. In front of her father, Chiamaka became an angel with folded wings. "Daddy, good afternoon," she would say sweetly. "My jewel," he would smile warmly. But the moment he left the room, she dropped the act like a heavy stone. Adaora knew this version of Chiamaka, the sharp, heartless one, the best. Every day she faced insults.
Every day, she endured threats. Every day, she prayed for strength. But what she didn't know was that fate had thrown her into this mansion for a reason that was slowly unfolding, one painful moment at a time. Later that night, Adaora sat on her small bed in the servants' quarters. She wrapped the cut on her finger and closed her eyes, letting the tears she had held in all day finally fall. The next morning, Chiamaka stood in front of her father's office door, pacing back and forth, biting her thumbnail like a child, preparing to lie for the first time. Her chest rose and fell too fast. Prince had given her only 1 hour to bring the money, and 30 minutes had already passed. If she didn't get the money, he would insult her. He might even walk away from her life. The thought alone made her stomach twist with fear. She took a deep breath and knocked gently. "Come in," Chief Decay's deep voice responded. She pushed the door open slowly. Her father sat behind his large wooden desk, surrounded by files. His reading glasses sat low on his nose, and he rubbed his temples like a man who carried too much weight. Chiamaka softened her face instantly, wearing her sweetest smile. "Daddy," Decay looked up. "My daughter, come on, come on." She walked toward him and wrapped her arms around his shoulders from behind. "Daddy, you're working too much." He chuckled softly. "And who will work if I don't? You love eating enjoyment, my dear." She giggled and stepped back, but her heart was racing. This was the hard part. She sat down and lowered her voice as if she were hiding something painful. "Daddy, I haven't been feeling well. My chest has been hurting. I think something is wrong." His hand slapped the table. "Chiamaka, why didn't you tell me earlier?" She sniffed dramatically. "I didn't want to disturb you. You've been stressed, but I think I need to see the doctor." Chief Decay jumped to his feet and came to her side. Worry clouded his eyes. Of course. You should go immediately." He reached for his wallet. "How much will you need?" Inside her, guilt flickered, but only for a second. Prince's voice echoed in her head. "Chiamaka, bring the money. Don't embarrass me." She swallowed. Maybe 200,000, Daddy?" He nodded quickly, opened his safe drawer, brought out a thick envelope and pressed it into her hands. "Take it, and make sure you run every test. Call me if anything happens." Chiamaka hugged him tightly. "Thank you, Daddy." But her smile was fake. Her tears were fake. Her sickness was fake. Everything she said was a lie. The moment she left the house, she called Prince. "I'm coming now," she whispered. "Better," he replied in a cold tone. She took a cab and rushed to the small apartment where Prince lived with 2 of his friends. The door flew open before she even knocked. Prince stood there with a fake smile on his face. "My baby," he said, and hugged her. He didn't even ask her how she got the money. He snatched the envelope from her hands and counted the cash fast, like someone checking if a product was complete. Then he smirked. "Good girl." Chiamaka's chest tightened. She wanted him to thank her, to show her love. But he didn't. He put the money in his pocket and collected Chiamaka's phone to watch her pictures. Still, Chiamaka forced a smile to please him. "Are you happy now?" He shrugged. "It's okay." "Okay?" she repeated softly. "Prince, why are you going through my phone that way?" Chiamaka asked. But he ignored her. He clicked on her gallery, pictures of her at parties, in her father's cars, and fancy restaurants. Prince scoffed at the pictures, as if he deserved all those luxuries but was cheated by life. Then he stopped scrolling. His eyes widened. Wait, what is this? Chiamaka leaned forward to look. It was a picture she took with her father during his last birthday. In the picture, Chief Decay was smiling and cutting cake while wearing his favorite diamond necklace. The necklace shone like a million stars around his neck. Her heart skipped. "Oh, that necklace," she said. Prince didn't let her finish. "That necklace. Does he still have it?" "Yes, now," she replied. "He wears it often." Prince's lips curled into a slow, greedy smile. "Bring it." Chiamaka blinked hard. "What?" "I said, bring the necklace." She stared at him, shocked. "Prince, are you crazy? That necklace is very expensive. My father loves it with his whole heart." Prince stood and stepped close to her. "Chiamaka, you want me to stay with you, right?" She swallowed. "Of course." "Then prove it." He tapped her phone screen. "Bring me this necklace." Her heart pounded. "But Daddy will kill me if I—" Prince's eyes hardened. "Don't come back here without it." He turned his back on her and walked into the kitchen to join his friends. The conversation was over. Chiamaka felt something inside her break. She stood up slowly, tears filling her eyes. The money she brought had not made him smile. Her presence didn't warm him. But that necklace excited him more than she ever did. She wiped her eyes and left quietly. When she returned home that night, the mansion felt colder than usual.
The atmosphere was unusually quiet. A soft wind moved through the compound, brushing the tall mango trees and making their leaves whisper together like frightened children. The moon hung low in the sky, round and bright, pouring silver light over the billionaire's mansion. Even the guards noticed that the night breeze felt different, cold, slow, almost warning. Chiamaka walked alone across the compound with her hands folded tightly under her chest. Her steps were sharp, her face stiff, her mind boiling. She didn't greet anybody. She didn't shout at anyone. She didn't insult the workers the way she normally did. She simply walked as if the ground itself offended her. The workers exchanged worried glances. "Madame no even shout today. Wetin happen? How fizz be like storm?" But Chiamaka heard nothing. Her mind was too full. She is thinking on how to accomplish the task her boyfriend gave her. His warnings echoed in her head like thunder. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't eat. And stealing her father's favorite diamond necklace was not easy. In fact, it felt impossible. Chief Deke guarded that necklace with his whole heart. It wasn't just jewelry to him. It was history, pride, memory. He kept it inside a special velvet box, locked in the top drawer of his study table. He cleaned it himself. He wore it only on rare occasions. Everyone knew how much he cherished it. And now Prince wanted it. "If I don't give him this necklace, he might leave me, or even embarrass me," she thought bitterly. She reached the far end of the compound, where the cool night breeze was strongest. The air brushed her skin, but it brought no comfort. The moonlight shone brightly on her face, exposing her troubled expression.
Her mind was spinning in circles like a trapped bird. What will I do? How will I get this necklace? She stood still. The whole compound seemed to pause with her. The trees, the wind, even the distant crickets. Then slowly, a wicked idea crept into her heart. Her lips curled into a small, dangerous smile. I will steal it, she whispered to herself. And when Daddy starts looking for it, I will blame Adaora. Just thinking about it made her chest relax a little. Adaora, the innocent maid, the quiet girl who never complained, the girl everyone thought was weak because she didn't shout, the girl Chiamaka hated for no reason. Yes, Chiamaka whispered, her eyes shining in the moonlight. They will believe me. Everybody always believes me. And Adaora, she will suffer. She will cry. She will be punished. With renewed confidence, Chiamaka turned and marched straight into the mansion. Inside her father's study, the lights were off. Perfect. She knew the key to the drawer was always inside a small bowl on the shelf. Her hands shook a little as she picked it. She listened for footsteps. None. The house was quiet. Everyone was still outside doing chores. She opened the drawer. There it was. The diamond necklace sparkled, as if the moon itself had melted into tiny crystals. It was beautiful, heavy, expensive, the most cherished thing her father owned. Chiamaka swallowed hard. She hesitated for just 1 second. Prince needs it. I love him. He loves me. I must do this. She snatched the necklace, locked the drawer again, and rushed out of the house. Her heart was pounding. She didn't care. All she could think about was delivering it to her boyfriend. Prince's house was a small, rough-looking apartment in a corner of town. She knocked fast. The door flew open. Prince's face was full of anger. Why did it take you this long? He barked loudly. I got it, Chiamaka said, breathing hard. Here. She stretched the necklace toward him. He didn't smile. He didn't thank her. He didn't show any sign of affection. He snatched the necklace like she was a delivery girl. Then, without warning, he pushed her backward. Get out of my house, he snapped. She stumbled, nearly falling. Her mouth hung open. Prince? What is... Bang! He slammed the door in her face. She knocked. And knocked. And knocked again. Prince! Open the door! Please open! I brought it for you. Prince! No answer. The cool night breeze that earlier felt peaceful now felt like a slap. Tears stung her eyes. Her body trembled as she slowly walked back home, shame burning through her. When she reached the gate of the mansion, she heard shouting, loud shouting. Her heart dropped into her stomach. It was her father's voice. Who took my diamond necklace? Who? Who entered my study? Chiamaka froze. Her breath caught. The gateman rushed to open the gate, but she pushed past him and ran inside. Everyone, the cooks, the drivers, the cleaners, had gathered inside her father's office. Even Adaora stood there, confused and frightened.
Chief Deke turned sharply when Chiamaka entered. My daughter! Someone has stolen my most valuable necklace. Chiamaka held her chest as if shocked. Daddy? Stolen? From your study, but who would do that? Then her eyes slid slowly toward Adora, and her voice changed. Cold, sharp, poisonous. I know who did it. Everyone turned to her. Adora stole the necklace. Adora's eyes widened. Me? I didn't. Keep quiet, Jamaka shouted. You are the only one who cleans Daddy's study. You are the only one who had the chance. No, Ma, I swear I didn't. I will never. Jamaka's voice overpowered hers. You thief! You betrayed us! Chiefdeke's breathing grew heavy. His face turned red. Without thinking, he grabbed Adora by the wrist and dragged her forward. Daddy, she did it! Jamaka screamed again. Adora cried out, shaking her head, tears spilling down her cheeks. Daddy, please, I didn't take anything. Please believe me. But Chiefdeke was not listening. He raised his hand and beat her. Once, twice, again. The room fell silent, except for the sound of Adora's sobs. She begged, she cried, she tried to speak, but her voice broke each time. Jamaka stood behind, pretending to be afraid, but inside, her heart was beating fast with wicked satisfaction. Finally, with one last heavy slap, Adora collapsed on the floor. Her body went limp. Her eyes rolled back. She fainted. Gasps filled the room. Jesus, Adora! Somebody help! She's not moving. Chiefdeke stepped back, shocked by what he had done. Jamaka froze. Her mouth dropped slightly. She didn't expect Adora to collapse. Fear cracked her confidence. But it was too late. The evil seed she planted had grown into a disaster she could no longer control. Chiefdeke did not wait for anybody. He carried Adora's unconscious body in his arms, his heart beating faster than it had ever beaten in his life. His steps shook as he rushed outside. The workers ran behind him, shouting for help. Sweat poured down his face. His hands trembled as he placed Adora gently in the back seat of the car. Drive! Drive now, he screamed at the driver. The car flew out of the compound. Chiamaka sat beside her father, pretending to cry, but her eyes kept darting nervously from Adora to her father. Her chest felt tight. Everything was happening too fast, too dangerously. When they arrived at Royal Care Hospital, nurses rushed to them immediately. Adora was placed on a stretcher and pushed inside. Chiefdeke followed closely, shaking violently. The doctor met him halfway. Sir, we cannot begin treatment without a death and life consent form. Her parents must sign it, the doctor said firmly. Chiefdeke froze. Her parents? Yes, we need her mother or father here immediately. Chiefdeke swallowed hard and nodded quickly. Call her mother, call her now. Adora's mother, Nkechi, was on her way, coming back from market that night. A basket full of vegetables sat carefully on her head as she was walking tirelessly to her home, murmuring of how bad the day's market was. Life had been hard, but Adora was her only joy, her sunshine, her reason to keep going. Her phone rang. She balanced the basket with one hand and answered. Hello, good evening, ma. Are you Adora's mother? The voice asked urgently. Yes, I am. Your daughter was rushed to Royal Care Hospital. It's an emergency. The basket fell from her head instantly, crashing to the ground. Her vegetables rolled on the ground. But Nkechi didn't care. Her heart exploded with fear. My daughter! What happened to my daughter? She didn't wait for an answer. She didn't pick her basket. She didn't look back. She ran. Tears poured down her face as she sprinted toward the road. Fortunately for her that night, she saw a taxi. She started pleading to him. To Royal Care Hospital. Please, I beg you, my child, my only child, she cried. The taxi sped off. Her hands trembled the entire journey. Her chest felt like it was being squeezed by an invisible hand. God, please, don't let anything happen to my Adora. Please.
Nkechi burst into the hospital, pushing the door so hard it nearly broke. Where is my daughter? Let nothing happen to my child, oh. Please show me the ward, she cried. A nurse pointed toward the emergency room. Nkechi ran, tears dripping from her chin. She pushed open the door and froze. And at that exact moment, Chiefdeke turned around.
Their eyes met. Shock hit them both like thunder. Nkechi's mouth opened slowly. Deke? Chief Deke staggered backward. Nkechi? The room went silent. Both of them stared at each other as if ghosts had arisen from the grave. Memories they had buried many years ago came crashing back like waves. Years ago, when Chief Deke was still a struggling young man, he had met Nkechi, a beautiful, gentle girl with kind eyes. They fell in love. Deep love. Powerful love. But when she got pregnant, everything changed. He denied the pregnancy, walked away, left her to suffer alone. She chased him, crying, begging. He pushed her away. And on the day he finally abandoned her, Nkechi cried until her voice broke and cursed him in her pain. Since you rejected the child in my womb, may children reject you. May you never father a child until you accept this one. He had laughed back then, but the curse followed him like a shadow. His wife had never conceived. For many years they waited. Nothing. The wife later died. Then he eventually adopted Chiamaka, the girl he loved, as his own. But now everything made sense. Chief Deke felt his knees weaken. He looked at Nkechi with trembling lips. You mean Adaora? She is that child? Nkechi wiped her tears. Yes, Adaora is the baby you denied, the child I raised alone. Chief Deke could not breathe. He fell to his knees before her. People inside the ward gasped. Nkechi, forgive me, he cried. Forgive me for everything. I didn't know she was my daughter. I didn't know this was my blood. He crawled toward Adaora's bed and held her hand. My daughter, my child, please forgive me. But Adaora lay silent, unconscious, unaware of the storm around her. Doctor, Chief Deke shouted. Start the treatment now. I will sign anything. Just save my child. The doctors rushed in immediately. Hours passed. Finally, Adaora opened her eyes slowly. A weak whisper escaped her lips. Mama? Nkechi rushed to her, crying loudly, My child! My Adaora! My only treasure! Chief Deke stood behind her, his eyes filled with tears. My daughter! I am here too! Adaora blinked in confusion, still too weak to understand. When Adaora was stable, Chief Deke ordered his driver, Take them home. Take my daughter and her mother to the mansion. As they entered the compound, music was blasting from the parlor. Chiamaka and her naughty boyfriend Prince were dancing and laughing, drinking juice and acting like nothing had happened. But what shocked everyone was that Prince was wearing the diamond necklace proudly on his neck like a trophy. Chief Deke's eyes widened. Is this not my missing necklace? Prince froze. Before he could run, Chief Deke shouted, Police! Somebody call the police now! Within minutes, policemen entered the compound and arrested Prince. He struggled, shouting insults, but nobody listened. Chiamaka stood trembling. She knew everything was about to scatter. Then, Chief Deke turned to her slowly. His voice was cold. My love for you. Everything I gave you, I gave because I believed you were my daughter. But now, he pointed at Adaora, she is my real child, my blood, my daughter. He turned to Chiamaka again. You are adopted, and from today, you will serve Adaora the same way she served in this house. Chiamaka screamed, Daddy, please, I can explain. Explain what? That you lied? That you stole? That you almost killed my child? Giamacca fell to her knees and cried uncontrollably. But the mansion had already chosen its new princess, Adaura. The lost child found, the servant turned heir, the rejected daughter restored. And as she lay quietly, still weak, the entire household understood one thing clearly. Fate had turned the wheel, and nothing would ever be the same again.